Well, hello and welcome back to the channel, guys. Never too old. Today we're going to be fitting our sink and our hob. I got both of these in eBay. I'll leave the link in the description below. The guy who supplies these sinks supplies them specifically for campervans, and I think he's a van owner himself, so definitely check him out. This was £33, and then he also does, which I forgot to buy, I bought it today, so I'll fit it later, the drainage pipe. This comes as, it can come angled or it comes straight. I got ours angled because I need to point the pipe through under the cupboard. The hob was £55 something or other. It all comes apart, so I'll just show you that. So this comes off and this comes off and this comes off. This is a big massive burner. We tried it out today because we have a wok burner, so we were able to attach it to the gas. So it worked. So that's it all there. Okay, let's take a look underneath. So there are two things here. We have the gas valve, which comes in a bag with all sorts of little things. You can have feet on this if you don't want to fit it into your van. The feet here, they screw on like so. So you can have wee feet on it. And rather than it being connected to electricity, you have a battery in here, which is clicking away here. The buttons I'm being pressed down are clicking away here because of the battery is already in it. I've got the big battery in there, so that means that you don't need to have it attached to electricity. It will ignite via the battery, which I thought was very handy. Right, now I need to take these guys out into the van and see where I'm going to put them. Okay, so this is generally the positioning I want the hob and the sink in. The thing is, the hob is just a little bit too, the base of the hob is 47.5 inches and the cupboard edge is 45. So I'm going to have to cut into the cupboard edge, and it's going to have to go seep into that cupboard a little bit. But there's still a load of space here for cooking and stuff, so that's good. And then we have the things on the right hand side. We're right-handed, that's great. The gas valve is here at the back, that's great. So I'm going to do one thing at a time because otherwise I'm going to melt my head. I'll concentrate on the sink in a minute, but I think I'm okay with the sink getting in that small gap in there, so that's ideal. It's literally exactly the width I need it, and then the taps will be going at the back, so the sink's all good, so I'm not worried about the sink. So let's put that out of the way for now. It's going to be the less complicated of the two. So I'm going to get my measurements as perfectly as I can, and then trace a line around the base of this, so I know where I am to cut the counter, and then to cut that top bit of the middle section. Yeah, so first of all I need to cut a little piece out of that top part there. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it. I don't know whether to drill a bit, because I don't care what it looks like under the cupboard. No one is going to see it, and I won't care less because it'll be under the hob. So I don't know whether to drill a little bit and then cut a little bit. I don't know, maybe let's see how I get on doing that. we go. I've made this deeper than it needs to be because obviously it's going through the board as well. But it should be, whoopsies, she says, breaking it well and truly. It's a snug fit. Very snug. But like I say, that other board will be on the top, so we should be alright. Next job, tracing the board out and cutting a hole. Okie dokes, so we now have the hole cut out. Charlie's bouncing around just in case you're feeling a bit seasick watching this. He's doing a jig. So he's now going to cut this out. In fact, I've probably got on the wrong place. Let me move. So we have our square cut out. Charlie's now going to go for it. Okay, we've also cut it a little bit under because we had to cut it back to front, so we cut it a little bit under just in case I have made a mistake with the measurements, so that we've given ourselves a bit of room for mistakes, I suppose. So let's just try and put this in now and see where we are. So that's us sitting just on the edge, which means that I've got everything the way I wanted it and it's going to be slotted in rightly. So Charlie is now going to finish off, going to near to the lines, and then that'll be one hole cut. Alright, it's getting late, dark, and more than a little dusty in here. So the holes are cut, they are snugly in where they belong. You can't see very well, I'm afraid, I'm so sorry. That's the sink snugly in place. That is where the water container is going to be. And then I'm going to feed the waste pipe through at the back, through that wall on the side. And the waste container will be down there. I'm not doing a waste tank. Too heavy on the van. I think we're putting enough weight in this van as it is. So I'll come back tomorrow and silicone them both in. Okay, back again the next day. Sun shining, thank God. A little bit warmer than it was yesterday, and I have cleaned up because the van was an absolute disaster after having cut all our holes in here, as you can imagine, because it was chucking down with rain outside, so we couldn't have done it outside. There was a foam cushioning kind of thing all the way around the edge, and what I found was when I put it in that it was sitting a bit too high. But not just the fact that it was sitting a bit too high, it was also, I was worrying that it wouldn't be waterproof. Still sitting a bit too high. Yeah, I was also worrying that it wasn't going to be waterproof, and I didn't want the foam to get wet and rotten and all that. And once you've got it siliconed in, you're not getting it out again. So yeah, I need to chop my end off my silicone because that's all hard stuff in there. I'm using this sticks like beep. Again, it's very good. It's very strong. So yeah, gonna do that. Okay, here goes. I have actually opened this hole a little bit more because I just wanted it to be a little bit more flush than it was. So I'm just gonna go nice and easy with this silicone. Like I'm icing a cake. Do one continuous one maybe. It'll work out a bit quicker. Just want to make sure I put enough on. So my advice would be, if you're cutting holes, cut them smaller to start with, You can always cut them larger, but you can't, well, you can fill the hole, I suppose, but it's a pain in the backside. It's much easier to make your hole bigger than it is smaller. Alright. I'm slightly terrified of putting this in. Mainly because I don't want to make it a mess. I mean, there's nothing really that can go wrong, but I just don't want messy silicone all over my counter. But I'll be relieved when it gets in. That's for damn straight. Okay. Last blob. Just make sure I put this in the right way, hey? So that's awkward because I have it back to front. So I'm going to turn it like that. And then I'm going to flip it like that. I need to grab onto the edges. So here we go. And here we go. So there's a little bit of silicone coming out here at the front, but not many places. Well, there's a bit of silicone coming out everywhere, but I'm going to give that a wipe with the cloth, and hopefully that will be the job. So nice easy swipe. And the good thing is it's clear. I chose clear for a reason, so it's not like super obvious and doesn't get everywhere. Okay, and then down this edge. The same trick, and I don't want silicone on my glass. I'm going to make sure that's really clean. And I don't think, oh no, it has come out the back. Right, I think that's it. I hope that's it. I hope that when that dries it looks as neat and tidy as it looks right now. And because the silicone is in, it will seal it from any water. Alright, I think that's that done. She says, going over and over and over it again just in case. Okay, one in, one to go. Righty-ho, now for the sink. I've had to nip out, so I hope my silicone is still fluid enough. It should be. Alright. Yep. Okay. I'm not going to make it as big on the sink because the lip is a lot smaller. bit of dust there. And the guy who sells these sinks, this one is a plastic one. He also sells metal ones. So definitely check him out on eBay, because it's so bloody hard to find a sink. A small sink, I mean, that's decent enough. You know, a small sink that's going to do the job that you need it to do. And it's, because I mean, this isn't very deep, but that's okay. We didn't need it very deep. It's actually worked out perfect size for us. Just take your time. I've probably put too much on here, but I'm gonna be able to wipe all the excess off with the cloth. Probably better too much in this situation than not enough, because it'd be a pain in the ass trying to put it more on. Okay, I want that pointing to the back, so make sure I have that way. And my little cutout here for this boy here. So nice and easy and gently. Okay. Okay, I actually think that's it in. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to set. This one was put in about an hour and a half ago. It's already setting and is solid. So yeah, I'm actually quite thrilled about that. They've both turned out perfectly the way I hoped they would, which was a bloody miracle. Usually when I do a job, something goes wrong, but not this time, so woohoo! Go me! Alright, I'm going to wait for that to set, and then we'll put the freshwater tap in here. Alright, it's been 24 hours, more or less, so everything's solid, nothing's coming out. See, the counter is loose, but that is not. It's stuck in there. So now what I need to do is drill a hole here, making sure I have my counter in the right position for the freshwater tap. So now what I need to do is find a nice big fat drill bit that is going to go through, because there's a big piece of tubey something or other under here supporting the back of the kitchen units. So amongst some of Dad's tools I found these Makita drill bits. Very long, very powerful. I need my drill bit to be as wide as this section here at the least. I think that one would do a really good job. It might be a bit too big, but it doesn't matter because this is getting screwed into the counter. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with that one. It's a big long hole, it should get in, and then also it'll give me room to feed these electrics down the inside of it as well. Whew, that was rather quick. And she's through. and a big mess. Again. God. But she is through. So let's just check something here. Okay, so while the silicone pipe does go through the hole, this doesn't. So spin it around this way. It's just too tight. So I'm going to use that drill bit again just to widen that hole a bit at the top, at least. Okay, change of plan. I'm just going to go for the 16. But do you know what? I'm glad I didn't do the 16 first in case it was too big. But this is the joys of building a van, hey? Here goes with the 16. Just take it nice and easy. Right, that should be loads of room. So, mess, what a mess. And I put the pipe under now. Yeah, okay, so here's the pipe. And then with that fitting on it, that should now sit snugly in. Yeah, it does. So now what I've got to try and do is do the same but with the wires, which should slide in there. There we have our two speeds through. So our two electrical wires are in. Yay! And that's our tap fitted. You know, more or less. So there we go. I need to clean this off of it, which I'm going to do now, and then screw that in, which means, and the thing is, I didn't plan it like this, as always, but the tap can also go over the top of my thing as well as go over the sink, which is handy enough, right? Alright, let me clean this mess up, and then I'll attach it down below to the water and the electrics, and we'll give it a blast. Right, to say that was awkward would be the understatement of the century. But at least we're wired in. Nearly. One more connection underneath and then we should be good to go. Okay, I'm going to put my freshwater canister in the shelf. This is our water pump. This is the electrical part. As a reminder, this is food grade silicone pipe that I got, which is the only thing I could find to fit the submersible pump. I'll put the link in the description. In that goes. It's going to be a bit of a tight fit under here, but we'll do it. Right, that's that. And then I'm just going to bring you over here. I'm going to take all my tape off my sink. Now, I won't be able to empty this sink because I don't have the drain pipe attached to it yet. Oh, and that big water tank is going to be attached to the side of the cupboard via the webbing that I bought for the elevated bed. So yeah. Right, moment of truth. So I've done this right. This should switch on and give me some water. Woohoo! Yay, baby! Look at that. Happy as pig in muck. I'll do that again because I don't think the tap was in. It comes out quite powerful. That pump is quite strong, so I'll do that again. And also you can see that the plug is quite tight because the water's still in the sink, which is a good thing because there's no drain pipe underneath. Let's try it again one more time. Happy days. So there we are. Sink, hob, freshwater tap fitted, electrics and all. I need to screw this back in, I need to screw my counter back in. Here comes the rain. So this is the pipe that came after the sink because I'm an idiot and didn't order it at the same time. It needs to be fitted onto the waste pipe, or the waste section at the bottom, and then fed through to this other cupboard because I am putting a small I don't know what it is, 15 litre yeah, 15 litre tank under there. So let me get this fitted and then I will show you when it's done. And after a quick clean up because it was a mess, there we have the waste pipe. So it does need maybe a Jubilee clip or whatever on the end, but I'm going to just try it out. And I'm also think I'm going to have to take that shelf at the bottom, the one I had here, because I was thinking, oh, I had a wee bit of extra storage. But now that the waste pipe is in, I think the water tank is just, it's too high up to the sink. So I will be strapping that in there with the tons and tons of webbing that I had left from the elevator bed. So it won't be going anywhere. Alright, let's try this out. So I have my water in the sink and the pipe in the maybe a bit more actually because not all the way. Put it up like so, and then there's actually going on a downward gradient. Right, out comes the plug. Lub, 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 lub. Even though I don't have a Jubilee clip on there though, there's no leakage, so that's happy days. So then I assume then it's all coming down. Yeah, you can hear it over the wind and the rain and the shitty weather. Right, another job done. Happy days. Okay, so that's us. We've got the hob in, the sink in, the tap in, the drainage pipe in. What I'm aware of is, because this is not a campervan hob, we are going to have to take all this stuff off when we're travelling. Otherwise we're going to find bits and pieces all over the floor. But I'm going to probably just whack it in a wee tote bag or something and maybe hang it inside the cupboard. It's not a big deal. It takes like 0.0 many seconds to chuck it on there, so I'm not overly worried. But yeah, that's me. End of the video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. If you're not already, please consider subscribing. There's lots more to come, lots more to come, even though we're now on a deadline and have only 4 weeks to go, because we gave our notice into the house on Friday, the 31st of October, so we now have to be ready in 4 weeks. No pressure. Right, I'm away. Always remember, you're never too old